Hello and welcome to another episode of DCU Daily. And today we are talking about Jurassic League. No, you heard me correct, not the Justice League. We're talking about the Jurassic League, not Jurassic World or Jurassic Park. We're talking about the Jurassic League. Yes, such a thing does exist. You might be wondering, what the hell are we talking about? Because if you've been a longtime DC fan, you probably are wondering, what is this? And you know what? You might be right because Jurassic League technically didn't exist until a couple of years ago, but now it does. And not only is it going to exist as a comic book, soon enough we might be getting a movie. That's right, not a live action movie, but it looks like they're aiming to do something that's akin to the DC League of Super Pets, which definitely raised my eyebrow. I don't know about you, but I'd love to see your reaction looking at the article or listening to me just bringing this up for the first time, if this is the first time you've heard of it, which most likely is the case. Um, so yeah, I mean, let's get into it. What is this Jurassic League? This is a new animated movie that they've got in development, and it's based on a comic book that's only a couple of years old. John, what's up? Like, what is this thing?
So this was announced a couple days ago on the 24th, I think it was, where Peter Safran, James Gunn, like the head honchos of DC Films right now, DC Studios, whatever it is, whatever the correct name is, and they're like, okay, we're doing a Jurassic League movie, and everyone collectively said, "What the fuck is that?" So then we had to go through our Wikipedia, go through everything, and be like, okay, it's Justice League, but as dinosaurs. Okay.
It's Well, the thing, just to kind of clarify, this is not coming directly from James Gunn. It's coming from like Jeff Snyder with his
Jeff
like
Snyder.
in
Yes,
Snyder
sorry.
newsletter, where he mentioned it as part. He sends out a newsletter. If you subscribe to it, you can read it on the website. And then, like the article that we have on screen, they mentioned that James Gunn hasn't shot it down, and James Gunn does shoot down anything that he's like, this is not true at all, and he
Yeah.
would just
He
address it
hasn't
as soon
said
as
anything,
possible.
no.
I mean, he's a busy guy. For all we know,
To
this
be
hasn't
fair,
come across his
he's
desk.
hooked to that Threads account on the hip.
That's
Like that's he mentions a
Yeah,
lot of shit and he hasn't mentioned this. So
yeah.
it looks like it's gonna be happening. So sorry, apologies. I didn't get that right.
No,
My
no, no,
bad.
it's all good. I just wanted to,
Um
because it's not coming, because James Gunn hasn't made any comment about it officially. That's
so
the only
yeah,
thing.
or Peter Safran or anything like that.
Yeah.
So okay. I'm like when we got this, I'm like, okay, like maybe it's like cute. All right. But it's like, okay, but it's a mini series. It's only gotten like 6 issues. It did get positively received. It came out in 2022 and people seem to like it. And this news came out and everyone was like, "Okay, great. What is this?" So, and I'm sure it'll produce a perfectly fine movie. I'm sure it'll be fine. The artwork is great. Like look at this artwork. It's really fucking cool. So,
Is he
sure.
getting suplexed there? Like, is that what's happening right now in
It
that?
looks like, yeah, I think
He's
so.
getting a German is that a German suplex that's going down? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like
I
Dinosaur Atrocitus versus okay, yeah, sure, that works.
I'm into
But
that, like
I was, like, looking at this article and be like, I'm reading this article, well, skimming it. I was like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, "Okay, so we're getting, like, mainly a kids movie based around dinosaurs at like, the Justice League as dinosaurs, whatever." But here's the thing, this fucking thing has got to be the most poorly timed fucking news in, like, one it's okay, it's not nearly as bad as Sony greenlighting a Ghostbusters remake, like, a week after Harold Ramis died. It's not okay, maybe it's not that bad, or, like, the Quantum Leap revival getting like greenlit like 2 weeks after Dean Stockwell passed away. It's not as bad as those, but it easily takes the bronze medal because, like, I'm sure from a week ago, we got that fucking concept art from that Batman Beyond movie. And if you remember from that tweet, he says, I'm probably gonna butcher this poor man's name, but Yuki Demers. I think it's Demers. He is a visual
Yeah,
storyboard
or
artist.
Demers, maybe Yuki
Maybe
Demers.
Demers. This
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
is a visual storyboard artist on Across Spider-Verse. Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse. You know that movie that's universally acclaimed? That was a sequel to the movie that was also universally
Oh,
acclaimed.
not that one. I pulled up the wrong movie.
Because God knows that ain't universally acclaimed. You know that movie that's been universally acclaimed to the sequel to the movie that was also universally acclaimed, and how, both were nominated, and
I
the
mean,
previous
collectively
film
over $1 billion at the
won.
box office.
Yeah, you know that movie? Yeah. So the guy who worked on that, he's not the director, not the writer. I know he's not the big head honcho. I know. But a guy who worked on this, a beloved movie that some have said is the best Spider-Man movie we've ever gotten. Okay, so we don't get a movie by that guy. We get a movie by the guy who wrote Minions. Okay, but like why? Why are you why? What is this world we're fucking living in? Where I don't blame the man who shared this. He's just sharing like, okay, we did this pitch. We're but they go into this pitch and WB's like, yeah, we're never gonna do a Batman Beyond movie, so like don't even try. But they like their enthusiasm, so they're like, oh, maybe. Like, WB, you are just continually proving to everybody how you are the worst decision makers outside of Disney in the entire Hollywood studio system. Do you just collectively hate money that much? I'm just curious. I'm just really curious if you guys hate money, because everything you do seems like you hate money and you hate the people that are trying to give you money, because that's what it fucking seems like here. That's what it really seems like. I look at this and I'm like, I want to see this movie. I understand we got a show lasted 3 seasons. One of them, and again, based on
Dude,
one of the most universally acclaimed Batman things we have ever gotten. I mean, you were saying to me backstage where you're like, oh, that intro lives rent free in my head all day, every day. And
hell
it's like,
yeah, it
yeah,
does. Dude,
yeah, look
about
at
all
this.
my life.
Fucking look at this art.
Mhm.
But no, 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 no. No, 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 no. We're not getting this. We're not getting this, but we're getting Jurassic League. Justice League is Dinosaurs, written by the guy who gave us the shitty Puss in Boots movie and Minions. I feel like I am living in the worst timeline right now. That's what it feels like to me. You know what I feel like? You know what I really feel like? I feel like Kevin Garnett right now. I feel like Kevin Garnett in Uncut Gems. Why are you showing me this if I can't fucking have it? Why are you showing me this if I can't fucking have it? Like, I feel like that the Batman Beyond fan base is like a starving man on an island that's been there for 2 decades. And then WB comes in, gives us this small crumb of bread, like the smallest crumb you could possibly imagine, that's like a centimeter big. And he's like, here you go. Here. And they're like, and then we're like, oh, can we take this? And they're like, oh, no, 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 you can't have this. You can't have this. We're gonna just slap you with our big fat greasy cock instead and tell you to go fuck yourself, and also punch you in the face. Because that's what it feels like right now. That's what it really feels like, being a DC fan, being a Batman Beyond fan, being a Justice League fan, just being a fan owned by this fucking company who seems like continually hates our existence and hates money. That's what it fucking seems like to me. Why are you showing me this if I can't fucking have it? Me and Kevin are like, why are you showing me this if I can't fucking have it? I don't get this. they're like, okay, they listened to one pitch and they're like, maybe we'll get this, maybe, and that's probably not even a firm maybe. Um, I forget Bose Yakin. I'm probably butchering his name. We almost got that in the 2000s, but the man was so disinterested that they're like, no, let's not do that. We almost got a Batman Beyond movie back in the early 2000s. We almost got one because of The Flash with Michael Keaton in the fucking role. We didn't get that either. I am like gobsmacked. I know that's a ridiculous. I'm like so fucking gobsmacked when it comes to this. It's such complete fucking horseshit that I can't like wrap my fucking head around it. Like I'm looking at this is fucking art right here. This is fucking art. And no. You can't get like beautiful animation, get like a fucking amazing writer, get an amazing director, work on this beautiful art. We're getting we're getting Justice League as dinosaurs from a miniseries that's not even at fucking kindergarten. Like we're in this thing is in not even in preschool right now, and we're getting this. That's like,
It's only
oh
2 years old. It's not even
yeah,
2 years old.
I know I keep sniffing my nose. I apologize, but like I understand. Like it's one thing to like make a Stephen King adaptation, and the fucking manuscript isn't even out yet. But that's because like that was in the mid 80s, and Stephen King is a fucking powerhouse. So he has that drive. He has that, clout. But this rinky dink miniseries nobody fucking ever heard of until this announcement. No, we're getting a full-on movie adaptation, but not Batman Beyond. Not Batman, especially after like one of the greatest, argue the greatest Batman voice actor is no longer with us. This could have been like maybe a nice send off. This could have been maybe a continuation. This could have been an adaptation. This could have been something. This could have been something to commemorate Kevin Conroy. God knows Suicide Squad killed the fucking Justice League wasn't, because for all the poor Batman Arkham fans that were continually beat with their big fat fucking greasy cocks that they couldn't fucking do it. No, we couldn't get the like what is with this weird hatred of Batman we're getting? Like, unless it's Christopher fucking Nolan, nobody's no. I just feel like I'm in the wrong. I'm like in Bizarro world right now, which I better not say that because WB might make a fucking Bizarro world movie now. Like
That would be on brand.
if we're making a movie out of dumbass fucking ideas, they might make that movie now. Oh, we're gonna get a
It's
Bizarro
you
World
know
movie.
you know what this reminds me of? Like, so I was looking this up. Do you remember when, like, under the previous regime, they greenlit a Wonder Twins movie?
Honestly, I'll fucking take a Wonder Twins movie. I will
Like,
gladly take a Wonder Twins movie over this garbage.
and
Like,
I
like
mean, I
I'm
don't
just
understand.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Like I want to be happy. Like we talk about Superman Legacy all the time. And you know what? The more I talk like ever since I joined this channel and I've gotten more excited purely cuz we talk about it so much. I'm looking at all this stuff and I'm like I'm getting jacked. I'm getting jacked. Like I'm excited for this. Like I want to believe that like it's got like David Cornsweet, dude, amazing dude. Nicholas Holt, talented. Anthony Kerrigan, we're saying that the other day. Talented. Nathan Fillion, brilliant. James Gunn, I'm a little iffy on, but I hope he's going to do this well.
Yeah.
But it's like, you give us that. You give us that. And then it's like it's like that Deadpool quote where it's like a what is it like life is one long terrible train wreck with like some bits of commercial break. This was a commercial break.
Yeah.
Superman Legacy, like learning about this DCU, this was a little commercial break. Now we're back down to fucking reality where we're getting
Like
this shit
I
where it's
don't
like
like
somebody has
I
to continually remind us that they're fucking morons and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Can like
I
I don't like I'm like I'm just like can like David Zaslav just somehow get like some sort of like a brick to the head and then all of a sudden he becomes intelligent? Like cuz this is like that's we like need that. Just like get a brick to the
I
head
mean,
and then like it's like a shitty movie where it's like all of a sudden his like entire personality changes and he's like, "Oh no, I'm actually going to start doing shit that fucking makes sense." Because God knows we're not getting that right now. We're not getting that. We're getting dinosaur like even and on top of that, I understand Justice League Jurassic World Dominion made $1 billion. But the last dinosaur movie we got was 65 and that was
that did
pure
not make a
fucking
billion dollars.
garbage, and it was a flop. So it's like, are we
Dude, you know,
because
this
Jurassic World has the IP. They got that IP, they got the fans, they brought in, Laura Dern and Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum. They had that, nostalgia bait, member berries garbage that okay, they know they're gonna bring those people in. Oh yeah, I remember that from the original movie. I remember that. So they get those fuckers in. Okay, and Chris Pratt fighting dinosaurs. Sure, that'll get the money. But then when you get all the other dinosaur movies, nobody gives a fuck about dinosaurs. They're garbage. They don't work. Nobody cares about them. Like just again, I know 65 is the only example I have, but like that's like prime example of not something not attached to an IP. Although even though it has a great star, you got Adam Driver. It's produced by Sam Raimi, and we got nothing. It was trash. It was garbage. And then on top of that, you're not even bringing someone who can like bring something amazing. You can bring in the guy who made Minions. You're bringing in the guy who made the not good Puss in Boots movie, Secret Life of Pets. Like, and those are all like mediocre at best. Like, bottom
I
line,
mean, the
I
Minions had
know
its their moments. I mean,
I know people in the fucking comments are gonna give me so much. Oh, it's a kids movie. Why? I don't care. I don't care. That should not ever be an excuse for piss poor quality ever. Just because they're kids doesn't mean you have to treat them like a fucking idiot. It's like, oh, kids, look at the dinosaur that has the Superman logo on it. That's good, right? Here you go. It's like keys dangling in front of your face. It's like keys dangling. Like, oh, look at the fucking look at the key guy, look at the no. I refuse to give in to that bullshit of like, oh, it's fine. Kids, they don't deserve anything. You need to give them greatness because then that imprints on them for the rest of their lives and they grow up to like be entranced by like real art, real beauty, real greatness. And no. No, kids deserve lesser art because their minds haven't fully developed. That's such bullshit. I hate that. I hate that so much. That should never be an excuse ever, ever. Like unless it's like maybe the garbage gist of the garbage, but like even then, like I don't believe that. I hate to believe that, and I hate that excuse so much, especially when Batman Beyond could give us something great because it's like so many themes of that show ironically was even darker than the original show. And on top of that, you had this relatable what started out as WB like, hey, can you give us a Spider-Man show but with Batman? And Paul Dini and Bruce Timm were like, we're gonna give you the greatest fucking thing we've ever created because fuck you, that's why. Because we're so into this that we got to give you the greatest thing ever conceived by humans. That's what. Because that's what they were that Dini, Paul, Paul Dini, and Bruce Timm, that tag team was exceptional. And going back to the Batman Arkham thing, when Paul Dini did Batman Arkham shit, that was amazing. But when the fucking I don't even know who the hell wrote Killed Justice League, they're all that shit, and they gave us garbage that didn't even respect the people involved at all. Like Kevin Conroy, poor man passes away, legend. Honestly, calling that man a legend is an understatement. And you give him nothing. I don't care like how long this fucking game has been in development. I don't give a shit. You give him that respect. You give him that respect. I don't care. No, he gets a fucking bullet to the head, and by the worst character DC or anybody's ever made, even though she was originally good, and then fucking DC torched her and made her one of the most unbearably annoying sacks of shit we've ever gotten. And we know you have her killed. It's such a disservice to everyone involved. And I'm just so say, like, look at just like Batman Beyond was just so fucking ahead of its time, and it's just so brilliant because it's just like everything about it shouldn't have worked, but it did. And it's still, I would say ahead of
Yes,
its time. Ahead of its time is wrong.
very
It's
good way to
timeless.
put it.
That's what I meant. It's timeless because no
Yes,
matter what, it's like just it's got that relatability, it's got that respect, it's for its audience, and it's like, oh, Jurassic League, it's made for kids. This was made for kids, and it's fucking dark as shit, and it actually deal with real problems and shit.
dude. Yeah,
Like
I
you're
mean, it was the first scene in the show is this old Bruce Wayne, all resorting to the use of a gun to
exactly.
vanquish one of his enemies, and then like quivers in his hand and realizes that he's too old to do this because if it comes down to him actually shooting somebody with a gun, that's no
He's
longer
he's
he's no
lost
longer
the point of
yeah.
why he's been doing this for so long. Like, what
And
have
then he
I become? You know?
retires, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and it's
crazy,
like,
and yeah.
God, it's just like, man, this show is so fucking excellent. Like, and
I mean, you take this, like you take this artwork was already great, and then you
yeah,
like you cook up some of what Spider-Verse has, right?
yeah,
And then you say, "Okay, we got that. Now put that on your mind and boom,
boom,
this is what they would
perfection,
come up with."
chef's
I'm
kiss, brilliant,
it's
and
it, this isn't even like concept. Well, this isn't even like drawings and storyboard shit. This is like
the art.
I can imagine this like this could just all of a sudden you hit play and there's the movie. It looks finished. It looks like what you
It
would
looks
see
like
in a
the
movie.
could start rolling right now. It
Yeah,
could start like
it's
moving,
crazy.
and like I would watch a movie. Like, look, and I love the God, I
Yeah,
love the influence. I love all of this. It's just like, and you know what I fucking especially love? You know what I especially love? I love the suit. I love the
yeah,
suit because I know because I don't mean to be mean to like people who have a preference for stuff. Like, I don't man me
yeah.
sorry, I can't talk. I don't mean to like be mean or anything like that, but I'm sick of the armored Batman look. I'm kind of sick of it. Like, don't get me wrong, the Robert Pattinson suit looks cool, but it's a year two suit. But I've seen a lot of people, whether it's concept artists, cosplayers, they use an armored Batman Beyond suit. And good on them because they're like, they're putting their own spin on it. They're being creative. That's awesome. It just, when it's armored, it just doesn't have that
It's not
that
slick.
fit. It doesn't have that
Yeah.
sleekness. Like, look at that sleekness. Look at that perfection. Like the armored look, it just looks. I don't want to say tacky, but it just looks kind of generic a little bit, like
I mean,
everything.
it looks tactile. Like that's the word, but
Yeah, but it's like this is
it's
supposed to be in the future. Like it's supposed to be
yeah.
like beyond.
Materials
You know?
tech is like exact. I mean, it's in
Yeah,
the
like
name. It's the
just
yeah,
just give us like that
yeah,
sleekness. Just give us that one of the best I know going back to Batman Arkham again, like Arkham City. I don't know if you remember this when they gave us like a bunch of skins, and one of them was Batman Beyond, and that looked amazing. And like use that for your basis, whether it's live action or something more along the lines of like CGI animation, like what this would be. And so it's just like that sleek look. I love that fucking sleek look. And that's what it should be for a future thing, like a future thing. Cause like, oh, nanotech, but you already got that with Iron Man, kind of in Infinity War. You got the nanotech, even though it was still technically a quote unquote brute of armor, suit of armor. It you still kind of have that sleekness. But imagine if you just had that sleekness of Batman Beyond. Like, look at that. I know the eyes look a little bit weird. I get that, but like, look how fucking beautiful that looks. Use it. Like everyone's like, oh, how would live action Batman be? Look, just go to this. Just like take that, up it in a fucking thing. You download a thing, whatever you need to do, and then you imprint that onto
Use some AI
Dylan
in the mix.
O'Brien, and then boom, you got your Batman Beyond live action. I'm just saying Dylan O'Brien as an older Terry would be awesome. Like, well, yeah, I just can't get into that.
It looks fat. Like it doesn't. This is too much tech. There's
It's
too
too
much
much.
going on here. It's there's a lot. Yeah,
It looks like a suit Batman would use to fight Superman. Like it looks
right.
like where he has to be like beefed up, like the BVS suit, the tech suit, and it kind of looks like that. And that doesn't scream like futuristic Beyond. That doesn't scream that. Like this just kind of looks like another Batman suit, like it just
Yeah. No,
it's another Batman suit. But like honestly, just give us that sleekness, give us that like amazing look, and that would be perfect. It just like I'm just like, why does WB hate us? Why do they hate us? That's my question. I feel like they hate DC fans. Like it's like you gave Dune fans something. Why can't we get that shit? Like
I mean,
Dune fans, like the thing that was unfilmable for decades. David Lynch tried, fucking Sci-Fi tried, and they're getting fucking like the unfilmable adaptation, the Sci-Fi Bible done near perfectly. They get that, but we can't even get a fucking Batman Beyond film, and we get fucking dinosaur Superman instead. What world
it's
are we living in? What world am I living in? This just doesn't make sense to me. Like what?
this is dude, this is literally this reminds me of that famous like Allen Iverson rant. That's literally what this is. This is like we're talking about Jurassic League. We're not talking about Batman Beyond. We're talking about Jurassic League, not Batman Beyond. We're
Exactly.
not Batman Beyond. No, we're talking about Jurassic League. It's just it's so
Practice. We sitting in
Ugh.
here, I supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
like not Batman Beyond. No, not Batman Beyond. Not this. Not Batman Beyond. Probably one of the greatest animated TV shows of all time. No, we're talking about Jurassic
Talking
League.
about dinosaurs.
It's
It's
yeah.
like
It's
it's like somebody handed their like 3-year-old crayons and a notebook, like, "Hey, buddy, what do you want to see?" And they're like, "I want to see dinosaurs, but it's Aquaman too." Like, like
I mean,
what?
and like here's the other thing. I was like, if they were gonna adapt this and like, here's the thing. I think this is the kind of movie that if you were to do this, like do this live action and then give it to Michael Bay. This is a Bayhem kind of a movie. I'm like
Sure. Like,
dinosaurs, Transformers, like
I
Beast
mean, the last
Wars,
time that
except it's
happened, it
DC.
did make $1 billion. Transformers plus the Beast thing, Beast Wars, whatever it was,
Well,
made a
it was
billion
the
dollars.
Age of Extinction.
Age of
It was the
Extinction. That's
highest
what it was.
grossing Transformers movie to date. I mean, it's because the other thing is, it's not even this is not they're not trying to make a Spider Verse esque art. This is gonna what is gonna look like. Apparently, if you go by like the person who's working on it, and DC's League of Super Pets felt like an exercise in necessity almost. I was like, they must have had something in the contract of The Rock and Kevin Hart because they were like, we're gonna do a movie for Warner Brothers and we're gonna do DC League of Super Pets.
Yeah, he's
It's
like,
gonna
you
be
know what?
animated.
DC, the hierarchy has to change. Blah blah blah. So we're gonna, do this, and then we're gonna come in with Black Adam, and the hierarchy is gonna change, and then it remained unchanged.
I
Sorry,
mean,
Rock.
it
Go back to
changed.
your wrestling. It's nothing now. But I guess we're
I mean,
getting your dumbass ideas because we're getting dinosaurs with Jurassic League and like what?
I mean,
Like,
look, to
I
be
bet Michael Crichton is rolling in his grave right now. That's
dude,
what I'm
look at
fucking
this.
king.
Like, like, look at what Batman has in his, well, I don't know, the Batosaurus or whatever has in his arm. Like those are bones. Like those are bones in his, like, instead of like like spikes or whatever, like the, like, Rod Panson's Batman suit has. He's got bones there.
Mm.
He's gonna throw bones at people. I think that's how that's gonna work.
Yeah, throw him a bone. Yeah, that's a good idea.
And it's not even, it's they're supposed to, so I'm guessing they're gonna be talking dinosaurs. It's like the crazy look, the one thing that makes me somewhat like morbidly curious is when you look at like a cover like this. I'm like, if I'm gonna get some wrestling moves like this, like there's a German
Sure.
suplex happening in the middle. I'm like, they could pull this off. Like, here's the thing. To me, the scale for this movie in terms of like good to bad, where it can land, this is where it would start. On one end, you've got the Lego Batman movie. That I think is probably the best animated thing DC has done in recent times. And on the other end, you've got the DC League of Super Pets, a movie that most people don't even remember ever coming out, and those who do remember it for all the wrong reasons. So between the two, I'm like, you gotta like you need to be on this side. You need to be towards
Yeah,
Lego Batman movie. Even if this lands in the middle, because the thing is, the worst thing a movie like this with an idea that is so out there, like the idea for this movie, like not just the idea. You look at the artwork, like this, it's so different. Like this is the kind of thing where if they make something like this, they better know what they're doing, because if they miss the mark, if you end up in the middle and you get something mediocre, a property like this is not going to get adapted again for a very long time. And
yeah,
and to be like, and like I look at this, and maybe this is a very, this again, I'll go back to it. It's that whole, this is a Wonder Twin situation again. That's what this is. I mean, the previous regime greenlit it. David Zaslav walks in the building and he's like, he cancels it right quick. He's like, nope, we ain't doing that. Like HBO Max, I don't know what you guys were thinking when you were working on this movie. They cast the movie. They had like the two actors in the lead roles already cast, and the movie was about to go into production, and they were like, "Nope, sorry, not happening." And like now, I'm like, look, this right here, it's something that it's, once again, just to kind of give you guys context, especially if you joined late.
it's like
James Gunn hasn't said this himself, so but he also has not contradicted it, and this is coming from Jeff Snyder, who's is a very well known, journalist in the industry, insider. Who his newsletter is called the In Snyder, and it's I'm sure this isn't something that James Gunn hasn't seen because of how like high profile the journalist Jeff Snyder is. But at the same time, I'm like, the fact that he hasn't shot it down already must mean that it's at least somewhat true. Like, I mean, where it is in the production process and pipeline, I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, I can potentially buy a character named Parasaurolophus or Parasaurolophus or Carnosaur or Atrocitus. They have a character named Atrocitus. That's
yeah, no, that's Atrocitus of the Red Lantern Corps. It's you
that's
know,
crazy.
yeah,
Um, Okay,
Green
guess
Lantern
what
could.
Atrocitus does? He commits atrocities. That must be what he does. That's I yeah. There, I don't know how much thought was put into a lot of this,
Like I
but
mean, Sinestro isn't much better. He's sinister. Name him Sinestro.
I,
Yes,
I get that, but there's a little. I think there's a little more of a kick. I think that was that. They can pull it off, but
I
I
mean,
don't know.
nothing will be as as good as Larfleeze. The only Orange Lantern member, Agent Orange. Um, but yeah, it's just
That's a
like
bit racist.
uh well, no, he like straight up. That's the character. Don't blame me. Don't yell at me. That's
I'm just making
uh
an observation, dude. The
uh
fact that this image right here of, I don't know, I want to call him an Aquasaurus. Um, the fact that
yeah.
this image exists is purely to like kind of call back to the Aquaman movie, the first Aquaman movie, where Jason Momoa comes out. He's like, "What could be greater than a king?" He's like, "A hero." And like in the moment you're meant to like keep your serious face on, and I like cracked up. I'm like, really? Like, but like, but that movie wore its campiness on its sleeve. But that was one of the iconic shots, and the fact that this is one of the, like, the, you Google like Jurassic League. This is one of the images that will come up at the top of the search. And this image only exists, this particular artwork, because the whole comic book series only started, like you said, the miniseries only came out in 2022. And on the surface, the concept can go places, but I mean,
Like, I'm
honestly, like
sure, like,
if,
whatever they have, it's gonna be
but
fine.
like,
It's just
and
like I feel like it's
is
a
this
setup for
versus this. And I think the point you're trying to make is the fact that if you got somebody coming to you with these three images and a story that they want to pitch around it, eh,
and
on
the
a
best you get is
property that
maybe.
is,
And the best you get is maybe. That's the thing.
that's
Maybe.
just, I don't. And you know what, the one thing in Yuki Demer's tweet that we should point out is they've been pitching their way up the company. So like the thing is, like Warner Brothers and Discovery, they're a big company. A lot of these studios, you don't necessarily just get a meeting. You can't just get in a room with James Gunn unless you know
Oh, yeah,
people,
of
you
course
have
not. That's
connections,
not how that
or you
works.
have a resume like that of a, like a Christopher Nolan or something. Like even Christopher Nolan may have to like run it through me intermediaries before you get to actually like have a real pitch meeting. Or I mean, I guess like maybe if you're Tom Cruise, like Tom Cruise apparently is able to just like, oh yeah, deliver the movie on my lot, and then he just like picks up the phone and calls Eddie Muschietti to like brave about the Flash. I guess all of that was because he was eventually gonna get that deal that he got with Warner Brothers that he now has
Probably.
an office on their
Or they
lot.
were
Maybe
just looking,
because
"Oh, this guy loves cinemas. He's all about the
he's
theater
yeah.
experience, all that shit." It's like, "Let's get him to
So
watch this movie." And, you
well, it
know
certainly worked. It wasn't just that; it was him and Christopher McQuarrie going
oh,
and like
clearly it
showing the
didn't because
tickets
it
off on
lost him a
social
shit ton of
media.
money. So
Probably the biggest flop of Warner Brothers history or something like that. But no, like the point stands. These three images, and you look at the pedigree of Batman Beyond as a character and the stories that they told in that animated show.
and there's
Yeah,
in the
it's not.
comics. Yeah.
Yeah, there's comics, and then they make that what was it, the Return of the Joker, which so they even have an animated movie that they
Yeah.
made around this. So it's, I hope. I mean, they tagged James Gunn on this. There's no way James Gunn hasn't like seen these images, because I'm sure fans like retweeted this to him or like threaded it to him or whatever. I sure hope that this kind of pitch, because here's the thing. One thing that does concern me right now is they have another Spider-Verse movie coming, right? And that Spider-Verse movie is probably gonna make $1 billion considering how the first two have performed and they keep going
Yeah.
up. And I mean, the second one might win an Oscar. I mean, a lot of people thought it was better than the first, and the
I don't
first
know.
one won Best Animated Feature.
But
So
there's a lot of studio politics and academy
it's
politics, so who knows, but
but yeah, but ultimately the point I'm trying to make is
yeah,
like you're
yeah, yeah.
gonna have the Spider-Verse franchise still fresh in people's mind, not just fresh, but like they're gonna have a new movie coming out. I think they pushed it now to 2025. So there's still another movie to come out in this trilogy, and then maybe some after that. Um, because they might do like, now they're doing spin-offs and such. So what you wanna do is you wanna create something that's distinctly DC, but doesn't feel like a ripoff of the Spider Verse. And I think if there's
Yeah.
only because if I was James Gunn, my only hesitancy would be this. Right now, we don't want to like look like we're kind of like creating was it Doctor Fate that's meant to look that a lot of people clearly compared as some, those who are not in the know or those who are not into comic books were like, oh, so he's like Doctor Strange. And then you're like, well, like, and I don't think they wanna have that conversation until, so they might need to just, that's the only, if I'm just playing devil's advocate, I feel like that's the only reason why James Gunn might say, "Yes, but like, let's keep working on it. We're not gonna put it out there just yet because we wanna
Ye
let the
I
Spider-Verse
could
stuff,"
maybe see that, but here's the thing,
yeah,
here's the counter offer to that.
yeah, yeah,
If you look at the little, thing on the side,
yep,
it does say, "Before we pitched, they warned us, there is absolutely no way we can do a Beyond movie. WB was like, 'We're not gonna do this no matter what.'" But it's like, even if, like, it's like no matter who came in, no matter who the pitch was from, all that shit, it's like, "We're not gonna do this." And it's just like, why? That's the thing. Oh, because your initial plan failed? Because you made a shitty fucking movie that nobody went to go see starring a criminal? Like, yeah, gee whiz, I wonder why that failed. And so it's like, okay, because the how we wanted to do it didn't work. So we're just not gonna do it at all. even though fans have really wanted more Batman Beyond content outside of the comics for years.
There's
So it's
there's
like
a big contingent of fans out there, yeah.
that's the counter I feel like, because it's like that's true. Like Batman Beyond can be seen as similar to Miles Morales, done better in my opinion, but that's just me. But and so like maybe I could kind of see that, but like at the same time, it's like you also have W being like, okay, we're not gonna do this at all. And then they're like, oh, maybe possibly in the future we're gonna do it. But then that's probably just, circle jerk crap where it's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna maybe, and then just never fucking do it. And it's just like, mm. And it just WB just being stupid once again. Like they hate money. They hate money when really they need to be like, not fucking stupid when it comes to this shit. Like with having a Batman Beyond movie would be like the Germans after World War One, printing money as fast as you can and as much as you can. That's what that would be. You know,
I did not think I would get that comparison in this
not the
show.
best analogy, but the first one that came to my mind. So, you know what? It would print money. That's all I'm saying. Batman
I
Beyond
don't.
movie would print money. Whether it's by the guy who did Across the Spider-Verse or not, this shit would print money. But, what the fuck do I know? I'm an idiot that doesn't know business and just a guy who wants to see great movies that aren't about dinosaurs that are the Justice League in an alternate reality, because why? And the thing is, like, because at least with like the comic, it's like really cool art. Look, that was pretty fucking cool art. It's gonna be like CGI garbage leftovers that look like it was made in Blender, and not has as this is cool. That is, I will admit, that's some fucking cool art. I'm sure the story's great. I'm sure the guys put their all into it, all that shit. But like, I like there's just the bias of me personally. Now I just fucking hate this project purely because that we're getting it at all, but not
It's
getting like greatness of what we could get. Like
that's
that
what it is.
versus that.
Yeah, because I think like object by itself, like when I first saw Jurassic League, I'm like, okay, so there's potentially two problems. One, people are gonna be like, you mean like Jurassic World? You mean like Jurassic Park? You mean like Power Rangers? Because you look at the logo on the top corner there, that looks like a Power Rangers logo if you just squint hard just enough.
Mm,
Like I don't know, Power Rangers Dino Thunder or something like, or one of the newer ones. They do like dinosaur themed stuff, or the original, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Um, but yeah, I mean, like as far as priorities go, like if this was being pitched, I would say like it takes usually a couple of years to make these movies, right? These animated movies take a long time, and even Sony with like those terrible work conditions that some of their animators and effects artists have had to go through. Supposedly, it's even then they've been pushing these out relatively quickly. So whereas like a Pixar movie might go through in development for like 3-4 years, and especially when they're doing these original movies and they're not sequels to pre-established characters. Batman Beyond is something where I think that for a character Miles Morales, I think, got introduced in the comics. This character was made for a TV show. The intro for the TV show was about as like in terms of the way they put it together was so janky that you'd be like, you watch the intro, you're like, there's no way it was like they did it the way that they did it. But there was a lot of creativity at a time, and they were like, you have a limited budget, and this is what we wanted you to do, and it's for a cartoon. It was on network television and or like cable TV, and they came up with some brilliant ideas, and those brilliant yet simple yet timeless ideas have turned into something that I think, like you said, it spawned comic books. It's one of those things where the character first appeared on screen and then went to the comics. It's been in games. You've got the an animated movie already, like, with part of with the Return of the Joker, which that animated movie would look nothing like this. This is next level. This is the kind of movie that you put up $150 million and you say this film can make 600 million, like Across the Spider Verse or like Into the Spider Verse, and I mean Beyond the Spider Verse would probably approach $1 billion. There's a very good chance, like if this is what we're gonna get, especially now that the appetite for this kind of like art, where you can just pause any frame of the movie and it looks like art, like
I could put this
that's
on like, you could put it on your
yeah,
wall.
you could frame that. Like that's the expectation that movies like Across the Spider Verse, into those movies have completely changed the standard for what animated movies should look like, to the point where you now notice, like even the new Kung Fu Panda movies or any completely separate independent franchises from different movie studios are replicating this style of rendering.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Like,
not to the
I think
extreme
it was,
of,
like,
but
Sony had to patent, like, 15 new animation techniques just because of Into the Spider-Verse. That's
exactly.
insane. Not maybe not that
And
many, but, like, a lot, like, quite a few had to patent, like, all this because of, like, how much they had to, you know, how the ingenuity, the creative nature of, like,
yeah.
this whole franchise and,
And the thing is though, they can patent the techniques, but what they can't patent is the creativity of the artist, and that's the biggest thing about this. You look at these
yeah.
images, they're not just coming from some random people who have, no experience and no background. Yuki Demers is a production designer and a producer on these Spider-Verse movies.
Mhm.
And of course, like, Patrick Harpin has already got a decent resume to him as well. And even if you don't even if you don't take Patrick Harpin's pitch, I think you look at this artwork and you're like, we'll come up with a story. Let's get some writers in. Like James Gunn already has a brain trust built at
Get
DC
Paul
Studios.
get Paul Dini, get Bruce Timm, get Alan
Yeah,
Burnett, just like
and
Alan
and
Barnett,
and
just
Yuki Demers, like he's the production designer of those movies. He is it he or she? I'm not want
I
to
think it's a he.
say he. I just want to make sure.
I'm
Um,
pretty sure it's he.
so like he clearly he's interested, and he could jump right across from those movies to this, and you've already got somebody who's got that creativity, that essence, the fundamentals of what works with all these new designs and animation techniques. And just because you pan a technique, I'm sure like there's other studios who are going to
Mhm.
be licensing that stuff off in the
Oh,
future.
yeah, of
So
course, of course, of
I
course.
mean, Warner Brothers has an opportunity here that I think they should definitely take advantage of, because look, people have been asking for a Batman Beyond movie, like either a live action or a cinematic, like, animated movie, like what we were seeing here for a long time. But now that you add this style on top of it, it just changes the game. And I just don't. This is something that can't go to waste. This shouldn't be something that we look back as, really fancy fan art in a few years from now. I think in a few years from now, we should be looking back at this and say this was the beginning of something special. And this is
Mhm.
part of DC's renaissance. This is a DC Elseworlds project that's spawning its own entire animated universe that could one day cross over with the DCU somehow in a Crisis on Infinite Earths event. Like that's the potential. And not Jurassic League. Like Jurassic League feels like the kind of movie that's gonna come on. People are gonna be like, "What the heck is this?" Some people are gonna go see it. Most people are not gonna see it, and then people are gonna forget about it. It's like the
Yeah,
DC League of Super Pets. The only reason people still remember it is not because of anything to do with the movie itself, but because of like what was going on with The Rock and DC at large at the time. And that's not the kind of that
no.
says a lot about the movie, because the movie was so by the
Yep.
numbers.
Yeah, at the most, it was forgettable, by the numbers, generic, like, like a
Exactly.
perfectly okay movie.
Yeah.
It's just like that's what you call,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and I hate to say this, but that's what you call like an automated daycare kind of thing where you
Mhm.
stick your toddler in front of that and you get to go like, just have
Yeah.
a minute of peace and quiet while you eat some chocolate.
Yeah.
Just like stick them in front of there and then all right, I
Yeah.
gotta go lay down and not, blow my brains
Yeah.
out. But
No, I
that's
yeah.
essentially kinda what it is, like, I hate to, because I know, like, there was the I because, Chris Stuckman famously, released that video where he's like, making movies is hard, and it is. Like the
It is.
fact that anything gets made is miraculous. So, and I'm sure that a lot of people put a lot of effort into that, and it's unfortunate that it became like a subpar product. But from what I've heard, maybe it's the greatest thing ever. I haven't seen it, so maybe I'm talking out of my ass. It's really the greatest animated movie we've gotten since Fantastic Planet. I don't fucking know, but like, it's just like from what I saw of it, from the bit I've seen bits and pieces of it, and it's like forgettable fluff essentially, and that's a shame because it's such a good concept. Again, that's similar to Jurassic League. It's a good concept. If done well, that could be really good because I like the super pets, shtick. I think it's a funny thing. Um, but like it's just I just feel like, it was kind of
Yeah,
run of the
yeah.
mill and just like,
It just felt like a halfway point between a Pixar movie and an Illumination Entertainment movie, and ultimately, nothing like story-wise that drew you in. It was, and from an art style perspective, because people have seen so many animated movies at this point, and that particular style of animation is very much like, people expect Pixar quality because that's the style that Pixar developed. And Pixar is not just successful because they make movies that, are aesthetically pleasing. They make movies that tell some of the best stories in all of cinema, not
yeah,
just in animated movies, in all of cinema. And
Pixar
and
and Disney, like
Pixar
Disney
and Dis
Renaissance, like,
exactly. And so I think what
you take
made a movie,
Hamlet and you put it lions in it. Perfect.
dude,
That's the way to
ha
do, like how they did
yes,
it was good. Like you take
yes.
Hamlet, you
Mhm.
rip off Kimba the White Lion, and you stick lion, boom. Kimba, Hamlet,
Well, I
boom,
mean, that's
there you
yep.
go.
That's what George Lucas did at Star Wars, right? Like, he took
Yeah,
those old samurai.
John
Yep.
Carter, Flash Gordon,
Foundation. Yep.
Foundation, Dune, samurai movies, westerns, create the most popular sci-fi franchise ever.
Yeah, and today, like, look,
No
across
sweat.
the the Spider-Verse movies have created a new art form that is uniquely suited to the world of those movies. That's the same that you could say about, like, the Lego, Batman movie. I think they had something that worked for that particular brand, and it started with the Lego movie, of course, and then,
Yeah,
we go to the Lego Batman movie, probably the best
go
spin-off that you
Lord
could come
Chris
up
Miller.
with.
It all works. It all
Absolutely, and
comes back
speaking
to
of
them.
which, they're close friends with James Gunn, and they recently was a fan suggested, like, "Hey, maybe you should bring them in-house," and James Gunn was like, "You know what? I just talked to them, should have asked," and I think he should, because 'cause they're working on Spider-Verse too, like, they're the branch that's their brainchild, so I'm like, they could, once that's over, I feel like, you bring the gang across, and because in this case, the biggest thing that we haven't said here is, not only is it the style itself that really works, and not only is Batman Beyond as a concept really, really strong and really powerful and timeless, it's the fact that this particular style of animation and that visual aesthetic is a perfect fit for Batman Beyond, even more so than it is a fit for the Miles Morales Spider-Verse.
Mhm.
I'm willing to go as far as to say that, because this feels like it's like if you went into one of those Law and Order or CSI shows, and you were watching Batman Beyond in the 90s, and then and then you hit the enhance button, and all of a sudden this is what that turns into. That's what this looks like.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I mean, look, we can talk about this all day. Ultimately, Jurassic League is a movie that's in development. It sounds like one of those Wonder Twins, moves, where I hope that, unless they have something truly unique and different and revolutionary in mind, I I hope that it doesn't move forward, because it's gonna probably be another one of those movies where they put in more than $100 million and they really don't get their investment back, because DC Lego Super Pets, it made a decent amount of coin, but it was definitely not the kind of money that you want to pull from a movie with the budget that it had and the star power that they put behind it. Whereas I think Batman Beyond, especially with the artwork that we were looking at there, that Yuki Demers has shared, that's the kind of movie where you can expect a return. and to the and you can expect the critical reception too. And of course the artwork itself is not going to mean it's a great movie. You still need to write a great story, you need to write great characters. But like you said, like Paul Dini, Bruce Timm, you have those people still around working. They're working on the Batman Noir show for Amazon Prime. Like Bruce Timm is still involved with that. So I think we can come back to this, and let's get a Batman Beyond show. Like let's get a no, like let's get a Batman Beyond movie. Let's put it out there.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'll take
Even
a
if you have to
show, I'll
wait till
take a
Spider-Verse is
movie,
over.
I'll take anything but
Yeah.
dinosaurs as the Justice League at this point. But
Yeah.
as we all know, WB is allergic to good ideas, so who knows? Unless they're Denny
Yeah.
Villeneuve or James Gunn.
Or Christopher Nolan, who they're trying to court really hard to come
Well,
back.
not anymore since he jumped ship to Universal.
Well, but they're trying to like, dude, they re-released Tenet. They literally like took a wheelbarrow of cash and dropped it off at his house last year.
I keep getting commercials. Oh, look, Peacock, they got this Christopher Nolan,
Oppenheimer.
all these Christopher Nolan movies. Please watch
The most
Peacock.
nominated movie at the Oscars this year is probably gonna win the most number of Oscars. Probably gonna get Christopher Nolan his first directing Oscar, which
We
after
can only hope,
spending
yes.
his entire career at Warner Brothers, he goes and gets that at Universal. That is just gonna be a stain on Warner Brothers.
But
that
hey, at least Warner
they'll have to
Brothers,
work
they
really hard to wash off.
they have Tom Cruise.
At least, hey, I mean, well, they have him, but like he's still doing like Mission Impossible. He's still filming that movie in space over at Universal. Like he's still got a ton of projects over at Paramount.
I will
Top
say,
Gun Maverick sequel.
speaking of, I will say it is kind of funny that like 2
Yeah.
days after that, Tom Cruise is like, "Oh, I'm gonna be with WB right now. I signed a deal with them." Blah, 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 blah. And Paramount was like, "Oh, you did? Well, guess what? The movie you said is not gonna have a sequel because you cherished it so much. It's getting a sequel now. So fuck you." So
Well, I mean, I'm
it's
sure
more
he's
to it
gonna
than
be in
that.
the
I just think it's
sequel.
funny.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying, but I bet you he was part of those conversations because he was a producer on those on Maverick, and there's no way that movie there's no way they make a Top Gun Maverick sequel without Tom Cruise in it, and there's no way Tom Cruise is gonna be a side character in that movie because I just don't think they're at that
His
point
ego
yet.
wouldn't handle it.
That, and I don't think you can sell that movie without Tom Cruise as being one of the lead, if not the lead character. Like I don't know what they're gonna call it. Maybe they'll call it Top Gun Beyond. I don't know. Maybe they'll take some inspiration. We'll have to see. But John, we'll have to end it here.
Jurassic Top Gun. It'll be Top Gun with dinosaurs.
Yeah, like something like that. Like it's gonna. Yeah, well, okay. I think we'll have to end that here for now, guys. Hope you are looking forward to, or maybe you aren't. I mean, I don't know. Let us know in the comments what you think about Jurassic League or Batman Beyond. Like, which of those two projects would you rather see? I think we clearly think the choice is pretty obvious, but we don't know which one's in production. It looks like they're both being pitched and developed in some way or another. Which one makes it to the screen first? I mean, I think Batman Beyond will eventually happen. It's more a matter of when and not a matter of if. Whereas Jurassic League, it seems like, even though James Gunn hasn't confirmed it, it feels like it's, with this report from Jeff Snyder, it's on its way. So let us know in the comments what you think about this. Of course, we'll bring, all these kinds of stories and more to you with anything DC related in the future. The crazier, the better, usually, because we have a lot more fun with it. But of course, we'll keep covering the usual suspects like Superman Legacy, Creature Commandos, Joker Folie 2, The Batman Part 2, all of those projects that are in development, in production. There's probably going to be even more DC projects going into production this year. That's coming from James Gunn. I'm not just speculating there. We know there'll be more going into production. And as it does, and as we get news about it, as we get behind the scenes looks, as we get trailers, we'll be here for you. We're here Monday through Friday, so keep checking back. Of course, drop your comments down below. If you're in the live chat, you can
Yell at me at how much of an
comments
idiot that Jurassic
Park
Jurassic League is going to be the greatest movie ever.
Yeah, I mean,
just yell at me in those comments.
Your rant might age really, really badly there, or this whole video might age really, really badly. Who knows? But yeah, guys, let us know in the comments. And subscribe. That's the big thing. If you like this kind of content, we do this every day, Monday through Friday, and we're here for you talking about all things DC. And so go out there and watch something DC related and then come back to us and talk to us about it. We're more than happy to discuss it with you. And until next time, John, it's been a pleasure as always. We'll see you back here on DCU Daily in the next episode.